Just that you got paid to pretend like you believed.
I got paid to believe.
I just worked out.
Thank you. Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. So my question is mainly for David and Jillian, since you guys directed in X-Files. Given that was some of your first experiences, and you've got a wealth of knowledge since then, what are you planning? I'm hoping. Are you guys planning on directing in season 11 and hopefully
Season
more?
11.
What have you learned since X-Files to now that you would bring to the direct?
Wait, can I just ask a question? Is there an assumption that we are going to do a season 11?
Yes!
Please! Is that
Please!
something that you guys think is a given, or is that something that there's a still question? I mean, this is a serious question, or that there's still a question mark?
We hope!
David and
Please!
Jillian, seriously, all four of you. 20 million people? 20 million people, really? Like,
I thought it was only 20 million people.
But the first 20 million were the really ones that counted.
What was the,
if you direct in season 11, hopefully I will.
that if there's a season 11, will we direct? Is that the question? Yeah.
And what will you bring?
If there's a season 11, and if you direct in that hypothetical season 11, will you direct, if you direct, any differently than you directed before when you actually did direct?
If I were to direct again in any time in my life, I would hope to direct better than I directed the first time. Would be my answer.
You did so good in all things.
Sorry?
You did so great in all things.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say, but I completely forgot about the actors. I remember thinking when I was on set that I had nothing to say to them. That I had not. I'd spent time. I set up all my shots. I was completely prepared. I felt confident in what I was doing. But I had not for 1 second considered how to communicate with the actors what I needed from them in the scenes, and I think it shows. I mean, but
No,
anyway.
it doesn't, I promise.
David? But you directed three or four, right? Yeah, if you were to direct in a hypothetical season 11, would you direct differently, Mr. DeCosta?
Yeah, I think, you just, with practice or with experience, you just change unwittingly, really. You don't know how you change, but you do. But I think what Jillian is speaking to is the fact that when you first start, especially on our show, which was technically demanding, and we're not coming from the technical aspect of directing it, so we would have been intimidated by a shot list or where to put the camera and all these things. I think when you first start to do it, that's all you're thinking about. I think that's what Jillian is saying. So I think that's true. So I think once you relax, once you do it once or twice, then you realize that it's going to get done, and you can relax and address other things, like talking to the actors or. But God, who wants to do that, really?
I think most directors forget about the actors anyway. So
I gotta say, I love what you're doing. You like the grumpy uncle today.
what is that? I mean, wouldn't that be?
Yes.
It's my experience. Most directors, most television directors don't. All they, it's about the shot. They don't really. I don't think they really know how to deal with actors. So that's.
Well, in fairness, Kim Manners, I think, was an exception.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not talking about Kim. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about because those are people we worked with a lot. But I mean, my experience.
And Kim was an actor too.
What's that?
Kim was an actor to start
Yeah, and
with.
then I think that lends itself a lot to, you know, what it does with actors. I think if they have some experience acting, it definitely translates. But, you know, that's my experiences. I don't get a whole lot from directors as far as performance.
That's probably because you're so good.
Probably because they're scared shitless.
That may be part of it too.
Well, the truth is that when you get a director on a TV show, they're coming in, you know, where the people have been doing it for a long time, and they kind of they own their characters. But you know, you mentioned Kim, and one of the things that Kim would always do is he'd say to me every week or whenever he was directing, he'd say, you know, we've never seen Mulder like this. We've never seen Mulder. I was like, Kim, you said that last week. Just leave me alone. No, we've never seen him like this. We've never seen him. Kick it in the ass.
Well, you know, for X-Files fans, there's an iconic picture, one of the most famous ones from X-Files, of Gillian, you're licking Duchovny's face. And so we went to Twitter, we just asked, hey, like, what's your questions for the cast of X-Files? And I kid you not, the overwhelming question, Gillian, is, what does David taste like? I want to know from that picture. How would you describe it?
Avocado. It would taste like chicken, but he's vegetarian.
Hard to describe, really.
Yes, please.
I forgot my question.
He's pondering with the taste.
Question to Jillian. You've worked a lot on TV sets, Fox and other networks. And now you're doing a lot of streaming stuff with Netflix. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen from, you know, working for, you know, big TV studios and working for, you know, online streaming and stuff? And
Well,
also, David, I just finished Californication. That was good.
Motherfucker.
The one thing that I have done that had anything to do with Netflix was actually a BBC Two show that was filmed and not initially produced by Netflix. So it wasn't an in-house production. It was made for BBC Two, and then Netflix came on board and produced it, so to speak, to air it in the States and other regions. And then in the second and third seasons, they ended up putting a little bit of money into it so that they could have a piece of it. So I haven't actually really had a proper experience working directly with a streaming network, although I will say that probably Netflix was the best and only place for that particular series to live and survive. And so, I mean, the other options I think at the time were either PBS, which it was not going to work on. I'm talking about a series called The Fall, which is, it's very dark serial killer series, or also BBC America wasn't really right for it. So the fact that Netflix stepped in kind of saved the day and was the perfect venue for us.
American Gods, too. Are you going to be in that?
I am in a few episodes of American Gods, yeah, which is, yeah. But I mean, my understanding from what's happening in the world today and what will continue to happen with streaming is that eventually that's all it will be, you know. And there, yeah.
Thank you.
And Dave, I don't want the time to pass without